Hey, how's it going, man?
Excited to have you here, our beatboxing champion, of course. And second, you guys remember him from another video. We have Feppy on the call, our support player, who's known to main a ton of characters like Eldegoss and Blissey and even Snorlax itself and many more. Feppy can pretty much play anything. This guy's a legend. What's up, Feppy? How you doing, man?
Yo, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
I know, 2 videos in like 3 days. I got you guys on the channel a bunch, which is great. So I'm excited to have you guys on the call and excited to have you guys kind of lend your expertise and your knowledge. You guys are very established players in this metagame. So excited to get your perspective. So we're gonna get things kicked off here with Venusaur. We're just gonna jump into things here, and we'll have timestamps as well. KG will put together timestamps for everyone if you want to skip to your favorite character. Just remember, if we don't rate a character highly or whatever, you may disagree, right? You're entitled to your opinions. Leave them in the comments. But that's not a bash on the character. That's simply that we just don't feel that it's as viable as some other characters. So we're gonna do our best to kind of separate those so you guys have an understanding of where the metagame is headed. So Venusaur is our first character, and obviously Venusaur is a Pokemon that was already pretty solid with things like Sludge Bomb and Solar Beam, but now it has this new set, this kind of bruiser engaging build where you can run Pedal Dance and Giga Drain and add a tremendous amount of sustain to Venusaur. So I think with this patch it just dropped, so there's still a lot of playtesting to be had, but I think Venusaur ranks pretty highly, guys. Would you guys say that Venusaur is pushing the S tier, or would you say it's falling to the A tier right now?
Yeah, I think it would be in that weird spot of bottom of S or top of A, right? Like, because they're effectively the same thing. So you could put it in either, but it is very strong.
Yeah, I think we're going to start this thing off in A tier, man. I feel like we're looking at it from the Giga Drain and the Pedal Dance set, but I think there's a lot of value in its Solar Beam sniping capabilities as well, and I think you have that versatility of going into a match and kind of predicting based on the opposing team on which set you want to run. So I think that there's a lot of viability there. So we'll start it off in A tier and kick off this video. I think that's pretty solid. Any thoughts on your end, Fred?
Venusaur is the Lucario of ranged assassins.
I like it, man. I like it.
He's really good now.
Yeah,
he can either be a really good far range DPS or really good bruiser.
Yeah, I like it. Well, we'll jump into the next Pokemon, Talonflame. Pete, you want to talk a little about Talonflame?
Yeah, Talonflame just got a slew of buffs, and we see it making Talon much stronger. I think, I personally think Talonflame is high A tier as well, if not low S, but we could put it right behind Venusaur.
Any thoughts, Debbie?
Talonflame's S tier for sure. Talonflame is one of the best burst abilities in the game now because they buff Fly.
Yeah, I think
and also one of the best escape abilities in the game. Absolutely destroys characters like Cinderace, almost removes them from the meta entirely just because Talonflame can hit 50 to 60% of somebody's HP.
Talon Smiting is also really good.
Yeah, Talon Smiting is one of the best.
S or A is also good. I think A is fine because I think up here we'll have a lot of good.
Yeah, I'm gonna settle for A there, and I think one of the funny things is Talonflame has been consistently rated pretty low on these tier lists, but that upgrade to its attack stat and that upgrade to its fly mobility and damage is insane, and if you don't know, you can actually fluffy tail while you're in the air. You were messing around with yesterday, so the ability to kind of come in at the very end of an objective and steal an objective is insane. I think Talonflame's a mon that really needs the jungle though. It's so bad, or so frail early game in the lane, so if it can kind of get in and out of fights effectively, that it can be really powerful. So we'll keep that thing in A tier for now. Feppy, I'll let you talk Snorlax. We'll skip Zeraora. We'll do Snorlax next. What do you think about Snorlax, Feppy?
I mean, Snorlax essentially didn't get touched that side on change, but Blocko's already incredibly strong anyways. Like, Snorlax is still an easy A for me. He's the standard go-to tank if you want to have the normal standard tank of a MOBA. He's very strong. He's very consistent. He just does everything you need him to do.
I miss you.
What do you think, in S or A tier on Snorlax?
I think A tier as well. I think it's a fair assessment. I mean, Yawn was a better moveset. It got nerfed. Block is still really good, but it got nerfed 2 patches ago, so I think we can drop that at S tier.
Alright, well, we can't just have every Pokemon in A tier, so let's talk Lucario next, Heat.
Yeah, can you make like an S+++ tier and throw Lucario in it?
Yeah, we already know Lucario, which got nerfed, air quotes, didn't really get nerfed. Heat, tell us about that patch on Lucario.
Yeah, that was crazy. So they nerfed Power Up Punch, they buffed Close Combat. I've been testing Close Combat. I don't think it's that great outside of Punch Stomping, but I mean, Lucario Extreme Speed did not get nerfed, and they released Razor Claw, which is a pretty big buff to Extreme Speed, so I just think Lucario is better now than it was before. I don't think it was really nerfed. And the Power Up Punch nerf was like 70 damage or something, so it didn't even end up mattering.
Yeah, crazy stuff there. Lucario, one of the premier Pokemon in the game. I think we could probably say Lucario is the best Pokemon in the game right now. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I think Lucario and Blastoise both hold. Yeah, I think they're both top of the game.
Yeah, it's just such a strong Pokemon. The fact that people are running 3 bottom strategy and putting Lucario top by itself speaks enough to what Lucario can do. It's insane. Well, let's kind of spread out this tier list a little bit. Let's talk Gardevoir. We don't have a G tier, but Feppy, tell us about Gardevoir.
Can we put this in not released because Guardy's that bad? Like, the problem with Guardy right now is that Guardy is super weak in the early game and gets punished by characters like Talonflame, Venu, Snorlax, Lucario. Just gets really punished in the early game, and by the time you get to the late game, all of the A tier and S tier heroes are like 3 levels ahead of the Guardy, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, unfortunately Gardevoir is a really good late game hero with things like Psyshock and being able to hit really hard. against Sun with Moonblast. There's a lot of value there, but because it takes so long to get to that point, and
I don't know if
a lot of Pokemon tend to be a higher level at the end of the game, Ralts
do.
it just gets bullied early. It's just very, very weak. And we actually kind of collectively think it's probably the worst hero right now in the game. Would you guys agree with that too?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you're winning with Guardy, it's not because you're good, it's because the enemy team's bad.
That's fair.
Yep.
So, a lot of Gardevoir mains just dislike the YouTube video. I'm just gonna call them out on that. That just happened. I'll jump ahead to Crustle here. Crustle, I'm very frustrated, by the way. Crustle is bugged once again, pun intended, but you actually can't even use him in tournaments because he continues to have bugs with his ultimate and things like that. So we really even haven't had a chance to get a full perspective of what this thing can do. But I'm a big believer of the Stealth Rock set, being able to kind of farm objectives and burn through them. I think there's some things to be tested with X-Scissor and Weakness Policy with some of the new items that have been added. You can deal some pretty good damage there. I was running a Spore Shield attack weight Weakness Policy set with Crustle, and it was putting in some pretty good work, so I think there's some value there. But I still feel like Crustle, despite his insane mobility, his incredible opportunities to split push, he is still a very niche character, and because he does a similar role to Lucario, it's very difficult to put Crustle any higher than B in my opinion. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I mean, I also think Talonflame is doing the same thing Crustle does, but better now. If you're running Talon jungles, his Talon black caps are pretty insane, and Talon abilities really, really good. So I think, yeah, the drop from A to B makes sense.
Yeah, I would say that that's kind of where it falls. Again, all these Pokemon can function in the right scenario, right? So even if something's ranked low, that doesn't mean don't use it. We're just trying to compare the Pokemon to the other Pokemon in the game and kind of what's being used right now in competitive. So, actually, Febby, why don't you talk a little bit about Mime? I know you're a big Mime guy right now. What do you think about this character?
Okay, so Choice Specs, the new item, is really good on Mime. He does even more damage than he did before, and his whole thing is running and doing burst damage and running out. So I've actually been running a Glass Cannon Mime set with all of the special attack items, and he can do like 70% of a backliner's HP in the late game, which is gigantic. His biggest problem is that he doesn't have mobility, but he also has way better zoning than Talonflame, so I think he's actually an A. He's just comparable to Talonflame, just different. Does slightly different things.
Would you agree with that, Heath? That he would be A tier?
No, I think Mime's B tier still. I mean, Peppy's a little bit biased. Mime's really good. Mime can counter the 3-bot really well, so we're seeing it as like a counter pick, but I'd say outside of that specific niche use case, Mime isn't that great.
Yeah, I tend to think that Mime falls into B tier right now. I think Febby's a little... Febby's very
Trolls.
We'll put it in a high B. We'll put it in a high B.
You'll see.
I think...
You'll see.
Yeah, Febby's like, just wait till the next one where we put it in S tier.
Just wait till I force you to play with me on Mime for the next 20 games.
I can't wait. Let's talk Blastoise next, right? Blastoise is a Pokemon that ultimately got some nerfs, right? They were bug fixes, they were called, but I don't really think they changed a ton to Blastoise's viability. He still has one of the best Unite moves in the game, still has the ability to kind of burn through objectives with Water Spout or even just rapid spinning. I think this is either high A or S. I think you guys are going to probably teeter on S, right? Its Unite move is just so good.
Yeah, I think he's definitely S tier. I mean, also, like, you just swap out Water Spout for Hydro Pump now, and he has the same moveset he had when he first released. We thought of that right now. Yeah,
it's such a strong Pokemon. That Unite move just to take objectives is so good. If you can get 9 for that first turn, it's so good in jungle too. Like the fact that you're sending this defender in jungle, it's nuts. Any thoughts, Guppy?
Yeah, I mean, if Blastoise could do only his Unite move and had no abilities, he'd still be A tier. So
that's fair. That's actually very fair. Let's talk. Febby, why don't you talk a little about Slowbro?
Do I have to?
I mean, yeah, you do.
He's easily the worst defender in the game right now. His Surf got nerfed a couple patches ago, and then he doesn't really do any damage. His CC is pretty poor. If you have to run Telekinesis, it's not that strong. If you're running Amnesia, sure, you're a bit tankier, but like, what are you doing with that tankiness because you do no damage? And then the only other thing that he's useful for right now is a niche counter pick against stuff like Blastoise, and you just press the ult on him, but that's the only thing he's good for, is his ultimate, and it's not even that great.
Kind of glad you didn't.
Yeah, I have him above Guardian C tier probably.
Kind of just
Okay,
called
yeah,
the
I'm not necessarily concerned about how things stack in different tiers, so I'm not too worried about that. But we'll say Slowbro, unfortunately, is C tier. Again, there's just better defenders. When you can run a Blastoise or Snorlax, there's no reason to run a Slowbro at this point. The way things are kind of played out. So I'll talk Pika next. Pikachu is, I think, actually has a little bit more viability now with the new Choice Specs item, being able to boost his special attack, do a little bit more damage. It is a very good ranged attacker, and obviously has those nice stuns with things like Thunderbolt and Electro Ball. Its basic attack is really strong. It has an okay Unite move, but it just really struggles against kind of a Buddy Barrier heavy metagame. I'm kind of feeling like Pika just falls in a B tier right now, guys. I feel like as good as he can be, he's only as good. Like, he really needs a super good front line to be able to deal a ton of damage and be able to deal it. Like, if you are behind in a game, Pikachu feels useless. If you're ahead in a game, it feels like such a great support. I know it's an attacker, but it kind of functions as a support. I'm thinking B tier. I'm someone who plays a lot of Pikachu.
Yeah, I think it's accurate.
I don't play Pika, no comment.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like I said, you really notice it. When you win that first Dreadnought, Pika feels so good. When you lose that first Dreadnought, it feels so bad because it's so hard to farm with him. He's so slow to burn mobs. It feels like you get so far behind. So I'm gonna put Pika in B. I hope it does get a power spike, but choice specs definitely helps a little bit. So it'll get some scaling adjustments in the future. Bevy, let's talk Eldegoss. You know Eldegoss pretty well.
Eldegoss A tier for sure. Like borderline S in my opinion. Eldegoss is the best support right now. Leaf Tornado is incredibly strong. Eldegoss is extremely tanky, and so Eldegoss never really has to worry about stuff like a Talon Flame, especially when you're running Focus Spin. So Eldegoss is very safe, has one of the best abilities in the game for support, which is Leaf Tornado. It just speeds your entire team, and then Cotton Guard is incredibly good at keeping your team alive. So is definitely the best support in the game right now, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think that almost warrants an S tier just because of the claim, right? Like, it's almost a must-pick character at this point, so I think S tier. If not, then it's very probably.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think let's actually talk Blissey. Bevy, why don't you just jump on Blissey and we'll kind of compare the two, and then we'll put the top one in that S tier. I think that's fair.
Yeah, the problem with Blissey right now is Blissey's move speed increase is less than Eldegoss. So if you pick Eldegoss, and Blissey's move speed just does nothing. Because you just run away from the attack speed increase, and it's useless. And the other problem is that Blissey is a melee hero, so contributes almost no damage in teamfights right now, because if Blissey steps up, she dies. The only, saving grace on Blissey right now is Safeguard and her ultimate, but it's not, those two factors alone are not good enough to make up for the downsides of running it.
What I became so used
would
to,
you put,
all these
what I thought would be.
Yeah, would you put Blissey in B in that case then?
I actually think LD goes S and then Blissey goes A, the way I'm looking at it.
That sounds fair. I like that.
Yeah, some really good points there.
Because Blissey is really good and still viable, it's just not Eldegoss.
That's fair. I thought you brought up some really good points. And again, Feppy, our expert support player. So if anyone knows there's Pokemon, it's definitely Feppy. I'll save Wigglytuff for later so you have something else to talk about later on for sure. Why don't you give us your perspective on Greninja right now? Which got nerfed, air quotes.
Yeah, I don't think Gren's nerf was as bad as we thought it would be. I mean, I still think he's A tier. I think there's better jungle picks in Talonflame, Blastoise. Even we're seeing Venu jungle come out of the meta now, but I think he's still very good, so I think A tier's fair. They nerfed his damage by I want to say 5%, but then they also made his ultimate shorter. I think A tier probably better.
Yeah, I'm feeling like this is one of those high A, low S kind of situations as well. It does feel like I think when you compare the two with what Talonflame does and what Greninja does, they have some similar roles in terms of being able to function in the jungle. The new Greninja ult is really a game changer for it because of the activation time, being able to get some serious smites from that. So, Bevy, do you have any thoughts on Greninja?
The thing that holds Greninja back from S tier, in my opinion, is that he's very squishy. And if he gets caught out, he's just dead. Now, that being said, that's not necessarily the only reason why you would say a character is an S tier. But because characters like Talonflame and Blastoise, if they see a Greninja in their general vicinity, Greninja's dead.
Yeah, and even Venu in a team fight just using Pedal Dance would just kill a Greninja without even realizing he's there sometimes.
Okay, cool. Well, let's keep going. We've got the all-arounder Charizard getting some pretty big changes. Probably one of the most drastic Pokemon to be changed heading into this most recent patch. It's Unite. We've got almost a complete rework where it actually does the slam first and then engages with the flamethrower in the air. Got a couple other changes. Flamethrower giving you movement speed increase, cooldown reduction of Fire Blast, getting a knockback effect or a burn effect with Fire Punch. So a lot of changes to Charizard actually, and it still gets its Unite move incredibly fast, even though that was slightly tweaked. So you're able to get off usually three Unite moves in a game. I'm feeling like Charizard falls into A tier now at this point, with all those things said. I think it can burn through objectives. It's the set I've been running is the Fire Blast Wealthy Tail set. It's a little slow to get scaled, but even with some of the new items like Razor Claw stuff, being able to utilize its Flame, which is actually a melee attack, I think Charizard does fall into the A tier. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think Charizard can be a team. We're seeing it come out as a jungle option in competitive play. He got a pretty big buff. He has, move speed added to Fire Blast, which makes him pretty much have an Elder Buff tornado on all time. It's just really good.
Yeah, another hot take. Sorry, Guardy players, but Charizard is just Gardevoir if Gardevoir was good.
Oof. Gardevoir players getting ruined in this video, that's for sure. Sorry guys. Big changes to Cramorant, actually. Cramorant getting a couple nerfs, Surf getting nerfed, did get a little bit of a buff. It's also got, I think, a damage reduction on its Ignite move. Heat, how are you feeling about Cramorant right now?
Yeah, I think Cramorant's a B tier. I mean, he was an A tier. I think he goes down to B tier. The nerfs to Surf and the buffs to other characters just see Cramorant being replaced by things like Venusaur, for example, where, you know, you'd rather run that character that can just completely take over a team fight. The nerf to Cram's ult is also pretty noticeable. He has quite a bit less damage unless he's really ahead, so...
I miss you.
He's still competitively viable.
I've been thinking about you.
Just not,
I've been thinking about our love.
Not the powerhouse it used to be.
And how much I miss you.
Yeah, I mean, you still pick him for the same reasons. He's very good as a pick hero. His ultimate's very strong. It's just, he got nerfed, and those things aren't nearly as good as they used to be after the nerf. So, yeah.
Still a really good early game lane Pokemon, but it's still a really good Ignite move that can zone off objectives. But again, just a little weaker than it used to be, so that kind of makes me go over here. Alright, Peppy, talk to me about Wigglytuff, which apparently Sleep was bugged, so what does that do to Wigglytuff?
I mean, I think people were starting to pick Rollout more than Sing towards the end of the patch anyways, and the only problem is that Wiggly doesn't do nearly as much damage now, but I don't think people pick the Wiggly for damage. So the damage was nice on top of it. It's just, she's an A tier. Wiggly's gotta be A tier, at least. Because Wiggly's ultimate wins games. And the fact that Rollout is still really good, Pound is still pretty good in the early game, Dazzling Gleam is pretty good at dealing damage. Like, the only thing that really changed is that Wiggly does less damage, but that's not the reason why you picked her. It's just the fact that she did damage was a bonus.
Fair enough. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think A tier is fair. I mean, Sleep's not nearly as good as it used to be. So the bug is that if you sleep someone's Wigglytuff, you can't really wake them up, but someone else can. I think, yeah, the damage nerfs and the early lane pressure that it does not, the loss of early lane pressure puts it as A tier.
Fair enough. I left a lot of the junglers at the end of there. I think someone just pointed out, but that's okay. Let's talk.
Idea of you listening to this?
Let's talk. Let's do Garchomp. Garchomp, an interesting pick. Got a defense buff, both his physical defense and his special defense being buffed in the most recent patch. But kind of the biggest thing was the held item changes. Razor Claw potentially being added to what Garchomp can do. A lot of really cool things going on there. Obviously very, very bad in the early game still with Dibble and Gabite. But I think Garchomp is kind of climbed out of the depths of C tier, and I would put him in B tier right now. But I'm actually really curious what you guys think.
Yeah, I think so as well. We were running Garchomp strats before, and we thought he was C tier, and now he's been buffed, and I've been really that benefit. So I think he's really fair.
I'm not too big of a fan of Garchomp right now. He doesn't fit in the meta. He does massive sustained damage, but the meta is bursting a single target down. He just doesn't fit.
That's fair. That's very good analysis there. Heat, why don't you talk about Cinderace? Cinderace, kind of one of the premier jungle/laners, has been competing with Greninja for the top ADC. What do you think about Cinderace right now?
Even if things never go back to what we were,
the Pyro Ball buff is massive.
What I became so used to, what I thought would be
the buff to the dash cooldown is actually insane because of the new item they released, the Razor Claw, where if you use an ability, your next attack deals bonus damage. All of Cinder's spells, I should say, or moves, give it a boosted auto when it's done doing the move. And then that boosted auto is then stacked with the Razor Claw, which makes it really strong. I think Cinder is like easily A tier. I think people are sleeping on it. It might even be S tier, but let's go with A tier. Also, Cinder has a bug right now where the boosted auto has 50% extra range, which is insane.
Dude, it's actually nuts. You can be like halfway across the map and you still get hit by it. Yeah. Pretty crazy stuff. And it seems as though we've actually got a lot of Pokemon falling into the A tier, and I think that that's a good thing, right? I feel like that's a sign of good balance right now. And it feels like this newest patch has given us a little bit more balance in the game. It's not so much about the same 6 heroes, it's a little bit more kind of variety. I feel like all the Pokemon that are getting into S and A tier right now are very, very viable. So I think that's actually a really good sign. Bevy, why don't you tell us a little about Alolan Ninetales? It's had some bug fixes, but otherwise it's been pretty unchanged for a while.
Yeah, Ninetales is in a very weird spot in meta right now because the problem with Ninetales is you have to build around Ninetales to be successful because you have to keep the Ninetales alive and she can't do it herself. If you can keep it alive, it's great, but if you can't keep it alive, it's just bad, and you'd rather run something like a Cinderace in that slot. So I have to say Ninetales is B right now. Ninetales just gets run over sometimes by stuff like Charizard and Blastoise and Talonflame, and you can't really save yourself.
As the resident Ninetales main, I have to hard disagree. Like, hard disagree. I think Ninetales is still A tier. Ninetales, like Cramorant and Ninetales used to occupy the same slot, and I think Ninetales is in that slot. You still pick Ninetales in the complementary strategy if you're not running a two-off game or something like that. If you're running a standard comp, Ninetales still owns that slot.
I'm gonna side, no offense, Bevy, I'm gonna side with the A tier on this one. Just high B, low A. I just feel like its early game capabilities, freezing is really strong. I feel like it's boosted auto with Aurora Veil very good. Its Night Move isn't that bad. I feel like Ninetales has pretty much remained unchanged, and consistently I feel like it's been sitting at that A tier for a while now, so I'm gonna keep it there. Peppy, why don't you give me your thoughts on Absol?
Heat.
Why don't you give me your thoughts on Absol?
Yeah, I mean, Absol's buffs were massive. Bigger than I think in terms of impact. And I think Absol is also really high DPS.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience with Absol. All I know is I was getting absolutely crit destroyed in the last couple days since the update. So I'm gonna put him in high B, low A as well. For now, we'll kind of keep it there. I think there's some variance there. You can go either way. It's actually really good in lane early game because of how much damage it does. Again, if you get caught up by yourself later on, if you're like a squishy, if you're Pikachu or something like that, if you get kind of singled out by an Absol, you're just dead. I mean, the amount of times I see 2,200 damage show up on my screen with crit, it's very sad. So I think that's a Pokemon. I'm gonna put it in B, but I think you can make an argument for A for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it scales as well as Talonflame or some of the other jungle options, and I think in lane it's really strong. But again, you'd rather have maybe a Vino or something competitively. But it is really good.
That's fair. Feppy, I'll let you pick one of the last three here. Zera, Gengar, or Machamp. What do you want to
kind of
talk about?
glad you didn't pick
Oh,
up.
out of these, I play Machamp, so we'll run this.
Alright.
Machamp's really awkward right now. He doesn't do a ton of damage unless you can get into the middle of the enemy team. And if you get into the middle of the enemy team, and the enemy team is like Cinderace, Talonflame, you just die, and there's nothing you're gonna do. Like, he just does not occupy a very solid spot in the meta. And what are you gonna do, run Machamp over, like, Talonflame in jungle? I just don't think you ever do that. Like, we can talk about whether or not he's B or C, but I'm pretty sure he's a C, because he just doesn't do anything useful right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. No, I agree with that. I think you see as well. I think he doesn't do enough first stage to be more viable.
Hearing your laugh and holding your hand.
I'll talk Gengar. Gengar's gone through kind of a... Well, first of all, Gengar has the best skin in the game, so that automatically gets a little bit extra points. But jokes aside, he's got two really cool sets. You can obviously run the Hex set, or you can run like kind of the Dream Eater Shadow Ball combo. Both can be really good in terms of using him as a jungler. He really needs to get that Haunter 7 kind of power spike, but unfortunately in lane, he can be really underwhelming initially, but now that people are running that 3 bottom lane, there is some viability there for Gengar in lane, but again, just kind of outclassed right now by some of the other characters, so I'm kind of feeling him in B tier.
Well, I think choice specs were a massive buff for Gengar, to be honest. I actually think Gengar's super slept on. I would probably put him in A tier. But I understand the sentiment. I just think, like, once people realize how insane choice specs are, and you start getting hit by Shadow Balls for, like, a quarter of your health, he's really strong.
That's fair, Feppy. You get to be the deciding vote A or B on Gengar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say B. I'm a bit hesitant on him. He's very squishy in the early game, and Lick is very strong in lane, but again, it's the same situation of what are you gonna do? Run this guy in jungle? Like, you can't. If you run him in jungle, you're not running Cinderace or Greninja or Talonflame or Blastoise or heck even Vinu in the jungle. Like, if there's 5 other characters that are being run in your slot before you can't be A tier.
That's fair. I respect that, and I think it's important to remember that some of these Pokemon, while we can evaluate them standing on their own, we have to try to also factor in how they function in team comp, how they function kind of compared against the Pokemon that run similar roles, so it does get a little bit blurry on certain pawns, and I think it's important to reemphasize that any Pokemon, you can have a Gardevoir be amazing and pop off in a game just because you put it in C tier, but it's just not standing out against other Pokemon that are in similar roles. Heat, I'll let you talk Zeraora to wrap this up.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're realizing Zeraora's buffs were actually pretty insane, at least when it comes to his early game kit. I mean, again, this is another hot take. I actually think Zeraora is S2. I think Zeraora is probably the best early game character in the game other than Lucario. I think you picked him in a lot of situations, but like in a regular 2-1-2 meta, you run him in a 3-man bot lane, he can play the 3rd-man bot and
even if things never go back to what we were,
I understand there's an argument for Ace before him, but I think there's team comps that are built around him that are then just absolutely crazy. I also think he synergizes really well with Venusaur because Discharge plus Petal Dance is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. I think S are like the top of A.
I'm kind of glad you didn't pick up.
I don't know. Everyone here will admit though.
Your voice.
I mean, I'm thinking borderline between A and S as well, so I'm okay with putting him in S. His ultimate just does what you want to do right now. It does big damage and it stuns, which is exactly what you would like in this current meta. If he runs like a Zeraora bot lane, for example, with a Talonflame jungle, Talonflame just flies in, you press ult on somebody as Zeraora, and the target's dead. And Zeraora is also extremely strong at just diving the backlines and punishing weaker backlines. So if the enemy team's running Greninja or Cinderace, you just ult switch in, discharge, triple auto that target, and they take 80% of their HP. So it's very good right now.
right, well, that is our tier list. Is there anything you guys, after looking at it now, that you would tweak or change?
I'm just thinking that all crap, you guys move mime into C tier and we're
Hey.
Fair enough. Well, this is where, you know, myself, Heat, and Feppy are ranking the metagame right now after the most recent Pokemon Mobile Unite patch. Shakes things up, and I think it's a really healthy thing that we have a lot of these Pokemon falling into A and S tier. I think that's a sign of more balance, and I think looking at this list and seeing the A and S tier, I actually feel that all those Pokemon are incredibly viable. And again, you can use any Pokemon at any time and have them function successfully. We're trying to speak from a competitive tournament perspective. A lot of tournaments coming up this weekend, so we'll see if something's changed. But ultimately, I feel like this list is actually pretty solid, so I feel really good about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed us making this video. You can check out Heat and Feppy in the description below. Go drop them a follow on their Twitch channel. You can watch us practicing pretty much every single day. I stream those practices as well, and we're going to be doing some tournaments coming up as well. So if you have any thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you agree, disagree, or just hate me because of my face, let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as I do post Pokemon videos every single day. Myself, Heat, and Feppy, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Not again. I don't know if you miss me too, but I hope you do.